Hi, I'm MJ from Linus Publications, and this morning we're going to continue with Luigi Mangione, and this is going to be part three. We're going to be looking at some of the angles coming up between now and next year to when I expect the conclusion of the trial will be, and we'll take a look at some of the angles between now and then. The first one I want to take a look at is on 12/12, and that is the Pluto conjunct Neptune. Now, this is a generational angle, and I'm only using it again in this section because this was also in play when the alleged murder took place. So, in effect, we're sort of completing that cycle. So, this was in effect when during that event, and it went retrograde, and now it's going back direct. So, we're sort of completing a cycle. The next thing we see is the angle we have on 1/6/26. And just let me back up a little bit. During this 12/12 time, they're also going in and they have some motions that they're looking at. So there are decisions coming from the court as to how they're going to be proceeding. So that's an important sort of move that we're getting into a different cycle. Next thing we have is Jupiter, which is retrograde, which means delays, trying Jupiter, which in effect is likely the legal system, which is the trial going on here. So on 1/6, we've got a trine here. So this is in effect likely a delay. It's a delay because it's retrograde, but it could be that they are actually asking for a delay in the trial. And it's likely that that would be in their favor. So again, it could be that they had planned to start the trial on 1/6, but that's going to be delayed, and it's likely something that's in favor of Luigi. The next thing let's take a look at is on 1/15/26. And in this case, we've still got Jupiter. It's delayed, it's retrograde, so it means just delays. But in this case, it's square Mercury, which means that, in effect, that this is not going to be something that is something that the defense would want. So it could be maybe there is some judgment on some type of evidence that they wanted to have or not have. And in effect, this is going to be likely a ruling against what they want. Now, the next one we have is on 3/13. And this one is Saturn conjunct Venus. Now, Saturn, in effect, legal system, responsibilities, coming down on, in effect, not so much community, the social piece here. So I suspect that this is when, and I think like I said, I think he's a Venus ascendant because this indicates to me the start of the trial. So it's going to be around this time. So normally you'd take Venus to be deciding stuff like that, but it could also be the jury. So in this case, we have Saturn coming into conjunct on this. I think start of the jury about this time. The next one we have is we have on 4/2, we have the North Node squaring Pluto. So this is karmic, and we have, in effect, the control. So from their perspective, specifically Luigi's, they're not going to have too much control here over what's going on. Now, the next thing we have is on 4/9, we have Chiron, which is the wounded warrior conjuncting Saturn. Here we have being judged. So, in effect, the accountability. So this could be, in effect, when verdict to reach, or the verdict could have been reached on 4/2 when we had the North Node squaring Pluto, or it could be reached at this point. It could be that at one point the jury goes in to deliberate, and they're deliberating for a few days, maybe a week. And if so, then this is likely going to be the time that they came back with the verdict, because this in effect is being judged and being held accountable. Now, the next one we have, which is the last one here, is 429 of next year, and that's Neptune conjuncting Venus. Neptune is associated with the 12th house, natural rule of Pisces, and that could be imprisonment. So in this case, this is when I would expect that the judge defines how long he would have to be in prison. So this looks like we're going to be finishing this up right around the end of April. It looks like they're not going to start the trial in January. They're probably going to start it around 3/13. And the jury might go in to deliberate around 4/2 and then come back with a verdict around 4/9. Or it could be they come out with the verdict around 4/2. So there's some question as to when that verdict comes out, but I suspect this whole process is done by about 4/29. And that would typically, that's where I see this ending. I hope you enjoyed this and have a great day. Bye now.